So you're learning test automation, you are watching the tutorials, maybe you have already also written some scripts on your own, but something feels off. You don't really feel like you're progressing. So I think this feeling is something that's familiar to you. And I can say that with pretty high certainty because it's something that is familiar to everyone. We've all gone through that. And so today we are going to talk about top 5 mistakes everyone, and I mean everyone, makes when learning test automation. Hello everyone, Casper here as always, trying to teach you to become test automation engineers one slice at a time here at Testeroni. And so today we are going to talk about how to fix those 5 common mistakes, and in order to know how to fix them we also need to identify them. So let's dive right in, and number 1 is staying in the tutorial hell forever. So you've got 3 courses that you are taking simultaneously on Udemy. You have 15 tabs open in your web browser. You have numerous notebooks and YouTube videos saved to your watch later playlist. And you have all those articles on Medium. You have a pile of stuff that is just waiting to get crammed into your head. You're watching all of this, you're watching all these tutorials, you're reading all those books or notebooks or articles, and it feels productive, right? Because you are learning, you are just getting prepared for the actual action that is going to come your way. It's just waiting around the corner. But the problem is, while doing all of it, you haven't really written anything on your own. So that sounds familiar, right? So tutorials are cool and all, but they are safety nets. They are curated. They are an environment in which nothing bad can happen to you. So they feel productive, but actually, after a certain point, because in order to get some knowledge, you need to have some springboard to jump off from. But apart from the very beginnings, they very quickly just become your nice, cozy space in which you can procrastinate forever. So in the real life projects don't really have those safety nets built into them, which all the tutorials and YouTube videos you watch online have. So the tutorials give you a false sense of progress because you can't really watch your way into becoming a test automation engineer. You need to write something meaningful, not only copy paste from the tutorial or just try and do the same thing 500,000 people have done before using the same tutorial. You need to do something meaningful, and you can only do that outside of the tutorial realm. So tutorials are something like the IKEA manuals. Sure, you have built something, but you have done this using the instruction without a clear understanding of why this goes here and this goes there. So as soon as something starts to break apart and you need to look for an Allen key, you don't really know where to put it or where it even is in the first place. So the takeaway from this is that tutorials are a good starting point, but until you build something messy, until you get your hands dirty into the unknown, until you need to scramble for a solution, you need to scratch your head and actually wonder and not just look at the solution provided by the author, until you do all of that and chase real bugs and chase real problems and actually stumble upon incomplete documentation or no documentation whatsoever, until you do all of that, you haven't really started. Mistake number 2 is trying to be the real programmer with capital R and capital P. So you see everyone creating these microservices and developing and building and having Docker take care of something and Kubernetes take care of something else and creating CI/CD pipelines to have it all wrangled up together. And you look at all of this and think, okay, I need to learn this. I need to know what they are talking about. I need to be familiar with this. I just need to watch everything about this in order to learn it. No, you don't. You're not hired or waiting to be hired to build apps. You're hired or waiting to be hired to test them, to actually understand them. And overengineering tests almost always leads to bad things because it just overly complicates the code base. It obfuscates the real meaning behind the test. You can introduce way more problems by introducing complexity within the code base of the test than you can actually solve. So over-fixating on the knowledge you need to get in order to become the real programmer with the copyright mark after that, it just makes you dig yourself into a deeper and deeper hole until you cannot actually get out of it instead of progressing, instead of steadily moving forward. Knowing code is important, of course, but understanding quality is your superpower that you should focus on, because introducing too much fancy stuff just makes your code harder to read, understand, fix, and maintain. So that is not the way to go, obviously. If you need a good litmus test for whether you are not over-engineering, if your tests need a freaking Kubernetes setup in order to run, then maybe you are not actually testing anything, maybe you are developing it. So focus on test value. Learn enough to be dangerous, but not enough to rewrite the freaking backend of the application you're testing. Mistake number 3 is automating manual tests step by step. So taking all of it too literally. So you take a manual test case suite from an Excel sheet, God help you, and you try to automate every little thing that you stumble upon there. You just go line by line and put all of this into code. And you may think, yeah, I have created automation by doing that. But actually, you have created a very brittle robot that can crumble on you any second now. Manual and automated tests are two different worlds. They need two kinds of outlooks, they need two kinds of perspectives. And so you're doing yourself a disservice if you're just trying to treat one like the other one, because manual tests are performed by actual human testers and they adapt in real time to the changing behavior. The machines don't. When automating, you need to think about timing, about flows, about synchronization between stuff, about how all of these things talk together. These are all things that you don't need to worry about when testing manually, but are just a few things that you need to have in mind when actually automating. Because as a manual tester, if you are testing something and it didn't load properly, you would just reload the page, no biggie. But for an automation suite, if something did not load, it would just die screaming in agony that an element was not found. So don't just automate the what. Automate the why. You need to understand the intention behind the script, behind the test, and try to convey that to a machine that is not a sentient being. Capture the intention of the test, not the keystrokes needed to be outlined for a human to actually click through. Mistake number 4, trying to learn everything all at once. This ties a bit to a point we have touched upon before, but that one was actually focused more on programming and not trying to over-engineer your way into automation. And now I am talking about all the other stuff, all the DevOps, all the nice frameworks from automation that are just waiting for you to pick them up. Because there's Cypress, there's Playwright, and maybe you should learn this one and that one, and this is the big new thing that is emerging right around the corner, and maybe you should learn Playwright with Python or Playwright with TypeScript. I don't know, maybe I should learn TypeScript first. And this all leads to paralysis by analysis. You stay in one place by fixating over all the shiny objects that are around you. As a beginner, you should focus on depth and not breadth of your knowledge. Breadth will come with time. Chasing every new tool is a recipe for burnout and frustration. And learning many things shallowly is not of the same value as learning one thing, sticking to it, and learning it deeply. You don't need to, quote unquote, learn the whole industry. You need to learn enough to get hired and to understand the basics, and the rest you will learn as it comes. You need to learn enough to be able to solve the problem right in front of you, and that's it. Not more, not less. So pick one thing, focus on it, and learn that stack until you build something substantial. Build something real, and then grow from there. Because the depth should always come first before you try to branch out into the breadth. And mistake number 5 is trying to do all of that on your own. So you are building your next great framework in complete isolation. You are trying to learn without ever showing anything to any other person, an actual test automation engineer or someone that is knowledgeable within the field. So if you've never shown your code to anyone, if you've never asked a question when you have stumbled upon a problem, if you're afraid of feedback, that's not learning, that's isolating, that's building a silo and then burying yourself within it. The most progress happens when there's conversation, when there's cooperation, not in isolation. And this applies just as much to playing music as it does to actually learning test automation and any other skill. So read other people's solutions, ask other people on Stack Overflow or wherever, or Discord communities, wherever you feel fit, but just do that. Talk with actual human beings, utilize the community you are part of, be it a uni you are a student of right now, or be it your current workplace, because maybe there's someone more knowledgeable than you there that you can actually ask for feedback. Just utilize your communities, and if you don't have any, find one online and utilize it and ask questions. Ask dumb questions. Show your poor, ugly code to other people and just get roasted, get absolutely demolished, because that's the way you learn, by getting code reviews from people more knowledgeable than you and not taking everything personally. Of course, you are bad at test automation right now. You have to be, but that's the quickest way to actually get better. To, after some point, after you grasp the bare basics, to actually show other people how you are creating it and to get rid of the bad habits as soon as possible. And that's how you spot them, because how else can you do that? Hell, nowadays, just throw your questions and your code to a chatbot, to an LLM, whatever you choose, but just have it actually cross-checked by someone or something. AI is actually getting pretty good at those code reviews, but it still may not be that good at providing advice that is more applicable to actual work scenarios, because these get more messy than the textbook approach that the LLMs tend to find. But LLM is also good for the beginning. If you are just struggling to move from one place, just start with an LLM, with a chatbot, and then progress to actual human beings. But just do that. Show your work. Because creating a test suite and then just randomly deciding on your own that it's good or it's bad is just as good as imagining a gym workout without actually doing it. It may be hella impressive within your head, but it's actually useless in the real life scenario. You don't have to be great to share, but you certainly need to share first in order to become great. So let's recap. First of all, stop watching and start doing. Number 2, don't be a fake developer. Be a tester with coding superpowers. Number 3, don't automate blindly, but rather test with intention. Number 4, learn one thing at a time and focus on it. And number 5, don't try to become a QA Batman in your basement. I have made many of those mistakes on my own, and I have talked to people who have made those and more mistakes on their way to becoming a test automation engineer. So we've all been there, believe me. I know how much they suck, but you don't need to get stuck in them. And so comment down below which of those have really hit the hardest, which of those hit the closest to home. No shame, no shame. So, we are not judging, but we've all been there. So let's just share with what we've actually been through. And if you know someone who's currently automating the nice Excel spreadsheet test suites, God help their soul, be sure to share this video with them, because it may very well help and save their career. Remember to like, share and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching and keep on rocking.